Let's talk about order of operations, something that you have probably seen for years. When you're doing some kind of numerical algebraic expression that has more than one operation symbol, the order that you do them in is extremely important. So we have what is called the order of operations. The first thing we do is anything with grouping symbols. I think that you guys have probably heard the little saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So this is step number one right here. This is your grouping symbols, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. The second thing will be your exponents. So if you have any exponents, and that would include roots, which are just fractional exponents, so roots, exponents, powers, things like that. All right. The third thing you're going to do is you're going to do multiplication and division as they come from left to right. Okay, so you start on the left-hand side of your equation and read through to the right-hand side of your equation, doing your multiplication and division as you see them. And then the last thing you're going to do is your addition and subtraction, again, starting at the left-hand side and going to the right-hand side. Your grouping symbols that we normally use are the parentheses, so you know this. You also have seen brackets. A lot of times we don't use those. We use those more with set notation later on. And then your braces. If it has more than one of these grouping symbols, then you start from the inside and work your way out. So you go the ones closest together on the inside and then just kind of back out as you go. Now, there are other grouping symbols that are maybe not quite as clear. So I want you to think about what other grouping symbols that there might be. One of them would be the division bar. When you have a division bar, you automatically know that you are going to go ahead and do, if there's an operation on the top, you're going to do that. You're going to do the operations on the bottom. This division bar is the same thing as a fraction bar. Another grouping symbol that you might not know is your absolute value. Not only does it group what's ever inside there and basically tells you, go ahead and do what's ever inside here first, then take the absolute value. That's its second function, is to take the absolute value. And remember, absolute value is the distance from zero, so it's always got to be positive. Some other ones might be a square root or a radical. Again, it's automatically that there are parentheses underneath here. Many times on your calculator, when you hit the square root sign or the radical sign, it automatically puts a parenthesis there and then has you close it, so it knows when to end what's underneath the square root sign. Here's just another little reminder of our little sentence, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and you can see how the link is. P is parentheses, E is exponents, M, D is multiplication and division, A and S is addition and subtraction. So that's a real easy way to remember it. Now we're going to do some problems. So what we're going to do is you're going to evaluate this for the given value of X. So basically I want you to work this out by taking a 2 and putting it in place of X. Now I'm going to remind you, when you substitute a number in for a variable, automatically put parentheses around it. Okay, especially if it's got an exponent on the outside of it, because many times that will make a difference. All right, let's see what this is. Okay, there's our equation. We substitute the 2 in there. Again, I'm asking that you use parentheses around that. Then we're going to do exponents first. Let me move this up. All right. Then we're going to do the division. We're going to skip over the addition. We're going to do the division. And then we're going to add, and there's your answer. All right, let's try this next one. Okay. Again, we're going to do, there's no grouping symbols. There's no exponents. So we're going to go ahead and divide. 8 divided by 1/2. Now, many people will miss this. 8 divided by 1/2 is, oops, my bad, 1/2 is keep it, change it, flip it. So it is 16. Okay? So we did that, and now we're going to do multiplication. Now the reason we did the division first is because it came first. Going from left to right, it came first. All right? Next one. Let's do this one. All right, here we go. We substitute the 3 in. Then we're going to do the multiplication. Remember that minus sign stays in front of that. And now we're going to subtract. Let's do this one. The negative 2 in place of x. Okay. Now we're going to do what's inside the parentheses first. Just going to give us a 1. We're going to square the 4. And then we'll multiply the 16 times the 1. Okay. Let's try this one. Substitute the 6 in place of the x. Do what's inside the parentheses. Now inside the parentheses, we have exponents here. So I have to do that first. Then multiply it times the 6. Okay. So we finish what's inside the parentheses. So 6 times 4 is 24. 2 plus 6 is 8. And now we finish this up by doing division, and we get a 3. Okay? And we'll work more on this in class.